Hi, my name's Jess, physio and movement coach based in Chamonix. This is the second session of a three-part series designed to support your trail running training. So in the first video, we lay down some solid foundations, starting to develop good movement patterns, solid strength-based exercises and some mobility drills too. Today is more focused on strength. So I'm going to talk you through a series of strength-based exercises as a progression from the first video. And then the follow-up to this will be a recovery-focused flow. So today we're going to continue to work on strengthening those key areas which are so key for runners. So thinking about our core strength, our glutes as our power generators and stabilizers, our quads, hamstrings, calves, ankle stability. And then today we'll be looking a bit more at power generation and agility too. So for this session, I have two blocks, a foam roller, a loop resistance band, and a small towel. This is optional. You can do this session without any equipment. But if you'd like to add in some progressions, then the resistance band and the foam roller are great options. So if you do have the band, we're going to take that to start. So coming down onto the mat, taking the band and looping it just up above the knees, and then coming round into a tabletop position. So tabletop, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, starting off by taking the knee out to the side and then back to centre. So we're working on the lateral glute muscles, particularly glute med, which I mentioned in that first video, being so key for injury prevention. It helps to stabilise the pelvis with each footfall, helps to control the alignment down towards the knee. So really important we're strong in this area. We're focusing on keeping the core strong, the pelvis steady, and just that movement of the knee drawing outwards. Aiming for around 10 to 15 repetitions. And once you're there, we're going to change that movement up by pressing the foot up towards the ceiling and then back down. So again, keeping the core strong. The tendency here is to banana the back and dip the belly. So we want to keep that core locked in, keep that movement coming from the hip to strengthen that big glute max muscle, generating that hip extension. And switching sides when you get to the end of your reps there. So opposite side, knee comes out to the side and back to centre. So in physio, this exercise is often called the fire hydrant move because it's like a dog weeing on a fire hydrant. So that helps you remember it. Great one to include. (10 to 15 reps there, and then switching it up, pressing the sole of the foot if you're trying to reach the top of the ceiling, using that big glute max muscle. And by 10 to 15 reps, you want to be feeling the burn, a bit of fatigue, and if you're not, then use a thicker, a higher resistance band. For a shorter time, these two exercises are a great way to activate the glutes, so a good prehab exercise before you go out for a run. Getting to the end of your reps there, and then turning sideways on the mat. So we're setting up here for our glute med pulses, a slight variation to the version shown in the first session, but the setup is the same. So starting off with the forearm parallel to the top of the mat, the knees are bent, heels in line with the hips. From there we start by lifting the hips up, lifting up through that bottom glute med, extend the top leg long, and then reach that back leg up and down. So we're focusing on hip abduction with that top leg, stabilising with the bottom hip, Keeping the leg in line with the body, so avoid the tendency to rock forward or backwards here. Keep this all locked in, targeting these lateral hip muscles, so key for stabilising us as we're running. Okay, keep that top leg lifted, pressing out into the band, keeping the bottom hip up, targeting both sides. It should feel challenging. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Lower down towards the mat. Okay, so from there, we're setting up for a reverse tabletop. So having the feet around hip width distance apart, hands underneath the shoulders. You're going to press through the feet, through the hands, squeeze the glutes to lift the hips up, and then drop the hips back down. So we did a similar move with the hip thrust off the stool in the first session. We want that same activity through the glute max muscles to lift the hips up. If you have the band looped over the knees, a feeling of slightly pressing out into the band, keeping the knees tracking over the toes. Next time you lift the hips up, pause there, squeeze the glutes to lift the hips, and then pulse the legs in and out. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips all the way down. Okay, setting up for the opposite side. So again, bend the knees, have the heels in line with the hips. The front forearm is down. A feeling of pressing through the ground, lifting up the side of the body. From there, we lift the hips up, keep the hips lifted as you extend the top leg. Toes are pointing forward in the direction you're looking. You're keeping the leg in line with the body as you lift and lower in abduction of this top hip. Targeting again, glute med at the top and at the bottom. Keep that top leg lifted, keep lifted up in the bottom part of the pelvis as well. It should feel both sides of the hip working hard, holding strong for 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips down towards the mat. Setting up for a second round of reverse tabletop here. Bringing the hands under the shoulders. If you have any wrist issues, a great option just to come up onto the fist here. Pressing through the hands, through the feet, squeezing the glutes to lift the hips, and then back down towards the mat. So we're mainly activating through the glute max, and the stronger the glutes are, the more you'll be able to release the front of the hip. They're quite normal for runners to be tight in the hip flexors. We want those glutes strong, so you can release the front hip flexors. Also strengthening through the arms here. If you use poles, you're going to need that arm strength. And opening out across the chest too. Last rep there, lift and hold, and then pulse the legs in and out. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the hips down. Take the looped resistance band out of the way if you were using it. And then take the feet out as wide as the mat, knees bent. Drop the knees from side to side. Easy hip mobility here. Quick release before we move on to the next strength exercise. Okay, pausing there. We're now going to move on to an exercise designed to strengthen the hamstrings, particularly working eccentrically. So strengthening the hamstrings as they're lengthening, which is a really key part of protecting the knee joint. So the hamstrings work eccentrically on the descent, particularly to keep the knee stable. Two options here. If you have a foam roller, I'll show you this option to start off with. So we're going to come down into a glute bridge position and place the feet flat onto the roller. From there, we're going to lift up into a glute bridge, so squeeze the glutes to lift up. Hopefully they're active and firing for you. From there, start to extend the knees, roll the roller away from you until the knees are pretty much straight, and then lower the hips, bring it back in, and reverse that movement. So squeeze the glutes to lift up, slowly roll away, take your time. And the legs are almost extended, drop the hips, and repeat that again there. So it may take a while to play around with the position of the foot on the roller so you can get that right. But once it's there, it's a great way to work on strengthening those hamstrings eccentrically. If you don't have a roller, I'll show you a second option. I'm going to roll this mat over so I have more access to the slidey floor. So if you have a carpet at home, this isn't going to work. Use a towel, or you can put on some socks. And then from there, we're going to do a similar move. So starting off in a glute bridge, squeezing the glutes to lift the hips, toes up off the floor, and then slide the heels away from you, keeping the hips lifted, and then drop the hips, bring the heels back in. So the same kind of control as you bring the legs away, drop the hips, and repeat. So pick your option. You're either with the roller or you're with the socks or towel sliding on the floor. We're going to do 10 reps here. So starting off in your glute bridge position, squeeze to lift up, and then with control, extend away, drop the hips, and repeat. Okay, getting to the end of your 10 reps. You can place the roll it off to the side if you were using it. And we're going to make our way up into standing. So using a stool, edge of the sofa, chair, whatever you have handy to you, we're setting up for some rear foot elevated split squats. So the opposite to what we did last time, we did front foot elevated. We're going to bring the back foot onto the stool, chair. Again, using the wall so you can get a position where you feel comfortable with that movement pattern. In this rear foot elevated split squat, we have more demand on the glutes as we can really power through that front heel and more of a stretch for this back hip flexor as well. So just go into a range that feels comfortable for you. Using the wall just as a support to find your range, find the movement pattern that you feel comfortable with. Your weight should be going straight up, straight down. Once you're there, 10 to 15 repetitions. If you feel comfortable letting go of the wall, let go as you drop the back knee towards the floor. Press through that front heel to drive up. Okay, getting to the end of your 10 to 15 repetitions there, where you can start to feel the fatigue and the demand. We're in a split squat position now on the mat. So back toes are tucked under. We're going to take that into more of a plyometric move, power generating with that right front leg. So starting off by drawing the left knee towards the chest. Then going to hover that back knee back, just so you're in this kind of ready position. And then spring up. So 10 repetitions there. With control, take it back. And then spring up. When you're ready, let's go. End of your 10 reps and pause. Setting up to the opposite side, so chair, back of the sofa, whatever you're using behind you. Again, starting off by using that wall support, back toes on the sofa or stool. And we're thinking about dropping that back knee towards the floor and then rising straight back up, pressing through that front heel. So dropping the knee down, straight up. Off we go. Find your way to your end of your 10 to 12 repetitions. Starting to feel that burn, feel the front glutes working hard for you. And then stepping into that split squat position on the mat. The back toes are tucked under. We're going to be driving through this front leg, working on that plyometric strength. Plyometric explosion, building power and strength. So we drive the right knee towards the chest. Then take it back into a hover. From there, press off the front foot and jump up. So also challenging the stability of that standing leg. So when you're ready, 10 reps, let's go. So my left ankle is not so good for me. Can feel the difference side to side. Just telling me I need to work harder on this side to develop that stability. Last one there, and pause. Turning sideways, we're coming into lateral side lunges now. So take a big side step, we're in a wide base of support. We're going to start to shift the weight side to side. Just doing this, catching our breath from the plyometrics, thinking about using our glute strength, sitting the hips back, okay, option to stay there as you are. If you want to challenge that explosive strength, the plyometrics a little bit more, and work on that ankle stability, we're going to take it into lateral skater hops. So from there, we're going to shift the weight over, catch our balance, drop the knee, and then shift side to side. So starting off in a step, so you can feel the challenge for that knee and ankle stability. Particularly if you're rehabbing any injuries, this may be enough for now. If you want to take it up a level, I'm going to start to hop side to side, springing off and pausing when you land to challenge the stability of that landing leg. For 10 more. Pausing to the back of the mat, standing there, catching your breath. Okay, we're going to take this down to some core work to finish. So from the back of the mat, inhale, reach both hands high. Exhale, bend the knees, hips back in space, forward fold here. Walking the hands forward to find an extended arm plank. So in our first session, we worked on these slow motion mountain climbers. Coming back to that movement now, feeling the challenge of the core, that hip flexor strength. Option to stay there as you are, or option to take it into faster mountain climbers. So driving the knees straight towards the chest this time, rather than out towards the elbow. Straight up, straight down. If you want to go, let's speed it up. For 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees, sit back, pause in a child's pose stretch, hips back to the heels, forehead towards the floor. Okay, from child's pose, we're going to find our way into a forearm plank. So coming down onto the forearms, walking the knees back until you can feel the core light up. If that feels enough for you, stay there. If not, we're going to take it into a minute plank with a few options for variations. So when you're ready, tucking the toes, having the hips in line with the shoulders, back of the head lifted. Option to stay still as you are, or option to walk out the legs. So we're walking the legs. Should feel that big glute max muscle that we've worked so hard on today, firing straight away. The core, torso, staying strong and still. And that hip extension, just coming from that glute max. Option to stay as you are, option to keep walking the legs. Or third option is to drop or turn it hips side to side. 15 seconds, take your option. Drop the knees, sit back into child's pose once more. Okay, so that is all for the strength-based session today. Really good to include some strength work 2 to 3 times a week to complement your running. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next session for the recovery focus flow.